Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lost Silver Productions game show Talking Fun Lightning Rounds for Tuesday, October 17th, 2017. This is Brian Spinski here, along with Paul Williams here, both
Hello.
from the Lost Silver Productions crew. And we wanted to do a quick little take with regards to the fact that over the past couple of weeks, as we've been gearing up for the upcoming revival of the Joker's Wild with host Snoop Dogg starting a week from tonight
Yep.
on TBS. The past week has actually presented some very interesting news with a couple of other revivals that are coming down the pike. But we want to just kind of put all three of these pending revivals in perspective, whether all three of them take place or not. Obviously, we know Joker is, but we want to get some insight as to why the other two are taking place and why now, why these, and whatever the case is. And Paul, just in your case first, let's just start with the one that we know that is definitely happening. The idea with Snoop Dogg going to be hosting Joker. And recently, this past week, he has gone so far as to post through YouTube. He's presented a video with regards to his general training for the show and stuff like that. And as you can see here, if I can get my picture to work here. Why is my picture not working? There it is. Sorry. Um, as you can see, he spent time training in his own home with producer Vinny Rubio and also executive producer Michael Strahan. If helps if I have the right video. There, go right in that direction. Sorry, never mind, folks.
Mhm.
My computer is giving me lovely times here. So they practiced and did a whole run through at Snoop Dogg's home. It gave him the whole ground up idea of how the game's supposed to work and how he should have an idea of hosting key moments in the game from top to bottom and all those kind of things. And Paul, in general, do you feel that this is a good preparation for him, that this is going to do him some good with regards to his potential credibility as a host?
Um, I'm not so sure about credibility as a host. I mean, Snoop is already a entertaining MC. Like, this isn't the first time that he's hosted anything. We all seem to forget his show with Martha Stewart. We seem to forget the few times he presented. Speaking of revivals of Total Request Live, like many a moons ago, he was also a frequent guest there. This isn't the first time we see him, not performing. Like he kind of retired, semi-retired, like a little while ago. So as far as credibility as hosting is concerned, it is what it is. Like he's just going to do his thing.
Well, I'll say this. Well, yeah, no, absolutely, he is going to do his thing. But I think the one thing that makes that makes this good is the idea that most entertainers, obviously, we know that, and I was saying this to some other people in the game show circle earlier this week when this video first came up. The idea that we know that the days of the archetypical game show hosts from how we grew up and the way
Right.
that they came through the business, like through radio or through other news medium and stuff like that. That obviously those days are long gone. Nowadays, anybody that becomes a game show host per se has had another aspect of Hollywood life, whether it be actor, whether it be comedian, whether it be movies or whatever the case is. And obviously, yeah, now in Snoop Dogg's case being music. But I like when I saw this video, and you can find it on, and you folks can find it on YouTube if you look up "Getting Wild with Snoop Dogg." Like I said, just went up a few days ago. I like the idea within this that compared to a lot of other entertainers and celebrities that try to do game shows like this. He's actually taking the extensive time to try to legitimately get this. He's still going to be himself,
Right.
but he is trying to make sure that he's staying entertaining with respect to the game. He's not trying to put himself over at the expense of it. You're still gonna clearly see that he, like I said, his personality is gonna shine through, and it has to. You can't just go through the motions. And it's definitely clear that he's not trying to go through. He wants to understand the game inside and out, and be able to say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this my way, but I'm still going to hold true to what the game is supposed to be too. And from that perspective, I fully believe that. Well, I have a much bigger sense of confidence about the success of this new Joker's Wild, having seen all of that put together. So, but does that seem reasonable to you, or?
It seems reasonable for sure.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, Brandon here agrees too. Whatever. Okay, so now while all this is going on, while that business with Snoop Dogg appeared on YouTube or whatever, we had a couple of news in the past, literally like 3 or 4 days, about a couple of other revivals that are coming about. The first one that whet people's appetite is the news that Al Howard, the longtime creator of Supermarket Sweep, has now gone ahead and sold the rights of the show over to Fremantle Media, and now Fremantle Media is potentially considering a revival of the show here. Now, Paul, were you in any way a major Supermarket Sweep watcher?
I watched it, but I didn't necessarily. I wasn't like a big fan of the series, but I did watch it when it aired on reruns, at least, not so much on the new episodes.
Well, like, yeah, you had the, because it was on Lifetime for several years, and then PAX TV revived it for a few years themselves. Well, so it's had 2 separate runs in the more recent modern era. But, both considered very successful and things, and the idea that Fremantle's going to revive this, what do you feel is the general appeal that would make this a front runner as their next game show project?
I mean, it's really hard to say. Like, I know that they're going to go on ahead and bring back the original grocery format. The only thing that they could really do differently here is possibly make it electronics. I mean, I don't know.
How do you figure on that?
Well, it's really hard to say. Like, how can, like, so Supermarket Sweep was that very niche game. Like, it was literally answer questions about these grocery items, which we kind of already have on Fremantle's other property, The Price is Right. But is there going to be something different like with this, or
the object was in answering those questions, you gained more time to run around the supermarket, which was always part of the format in the first place, and then using that time to grab the groceries, grab the bonus cash items, and whatever else.
Right. No, I'm familiar with the show as far as that's concerned. Like, the only thing that I fear is that it's just going to come
idea
out.
That you're saying. I'm just trying to get the electronics idea that you're talking about.
The like small scale electronic items, but if they do bring back the Supermarket Sweep, it's going to be the full groceries like it originally was. Then, the only thing that I fear is that it's going to become something that wasn't like the original format of the show, which is to say that it won't be answer questions and answers about these items. There was another show that got revealed to me a while ago, and it was Supermarket Sweep-ish, but it didn't necessarily do as much. And I'm trying to figure out if I can remember the name of it.
About Save to Win.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and that one, as we know, died a quick death. Those of you out there that are followers of Game Show Garbage know that it won the 2017 Patrick Waney Award for worst game show or game show moment of the year. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I saw a little bit of it myself, during its time. Yeah, no, it was a pale comparison to what to what Supermarket Sweep could have been. So
Right.
who, and who
That's
knows,
what
maybe,
I've
maybe,
now.
maybe that might have been a catalyst. We have no idea. Maybe it's just the idea that hey, this isn't the way it should have been.
Right.
If you want to do it right, let's bring back the real thing. So that could have very well been a driving force in that decision.
The
And
right.
hey, I look forward to the idea. And like I said, I'm with you in the fact that I wasn't always the biggest watcher of the show, but I watched it a decent amount, and it was pretty cool. The only thing that I ever felt bad about is that you it was it seems like it's impossible to legitimately train for this kind of show, because could you imagine somebody literally like trying out in their own supermarket, trying to race through? You're going to probably take out about 20 different shoppers along the way, racing through and plowing your cart through the aisles, right?
There's really no real way to go ahead and practice for it. Like, you would have to get over there to a supermarket at like the ass crack of dawn at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and just like, all right, we're gonna grab a shopping cart, and then we're gonna try to grab all the stuff, but not break everything and pay. Like, no, you wouldn't really be able to do it. Like
I said, I'm not worried about the picking up stuff. That part's easy. Like I said, I would think the real problem is like I said, yeah, in racing around, you're going to run into about 15, 20 people, and
you
and
do
also let's not forget that
it's up with a few cracked ribs and broken ankles.
unless you do it at 12 a.m.
Even then, there's always some people in the supermarket. However few you think there are, Brianna. So
there will always be somebody there.
yeah,
Probably like 2.
yeah, and even if there was, it's like the whatever night managers there are, they're probably going to be in there like, what the hell are you doing? So
Yeah, and you had to explain, oh, I'm training.
Yeah, exactly.
Blah blah blah.
You try to defend that one, folks.
Yes.
So we'll see that, hopefully, as to whether or not that comes about. And now, as if that weren't enough, now within the past 24, 36 hours, now news has come out from CBS that there is going to also be a potential revival of the old classic Name That Tune. Yes, which incidentally, when I was getting these pictures,
we saw a Sesame Street version of the game show.
Well, not really. They took this Name That Tune logo, and they had Guy Smiley standing in front of it. So no, that cracked her up a little bit. I promise I'd make a mention of it. If you Google Name That Tune, folks, and go to the images click, you'll actually see the Guy Smiley picture in the top row. So no, it was
I think here's
a little
how,
odd and amusing.
I think here's how he opens the game show. It's Name That Tune with Guy Smiley.
Okay, chill you.
Oh, Lord.
So now I would say this, in the same vein as we were just talking about, Supermarket Sweep, potentially being, considered for revival on the heels of seeing Save to Win coming up and gone in the pike so quick. It could probably also reasonably be considered that Name That Tune is being revived based on the recent success of Fox's Name That Tune-esque game show Beat Shazam. Would that seem fair?
I would more or less put this along the lines of ABC's revival of the Pyramid and Match Game, more so than Beat Shazam. While Beat Shazam and Name That Tune are both named, we'll play the song, you name the clip. I give more credence to the fact that CBS hasn't really had a chance to respond to ABC's Summer of Fun and Games. Fox did with Beat Shazam and the revival of Love Connection last year. CBS kind of had a response with Candy Crush, but we know that's not really doing what it should.
It didn't do anything at all. They just burned the remaining episodes off, and that's a dead thing. That's that ain't coming back at all.
Yeah, we haven't heard any. We
Yeah.
haven't heard any news about it being revived. I wouldn't be surprised if CBS did it out of spite, but you know, they're just banking off of Let's Make a Deal and Price is Right at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand one thing. It's been well documented in a few different places that Les Moonves, since he's been head of CBS, he has not been the biggest he's not been the biggest supporter of, in terms of game shows and things like that, especially from the prime time standpoint. The only time he really, because I mean, like, when you had the big money quiz boom in 1999 and 2000, yeah, he responded to Millionaire and Fox's Greed or whatever with winning lines. But you can tell that his and the network's heart weren't really into it and stuff like that. And even $1 Million Password, it was decent, but it could have gotten even a better treatment. So it's kind of a surprise that they're the ones putting their hat in the ring to say, okay, we'll bring back Name That Tune. That's the idea that it's them bringing it back as opposed to anybody else. That's the only part of reviving this classic that has me a bit concerned.
Going back to what you said a moment about Les, it wouldn't necessarily be only Les's call. I mean, he does have other vice presidents over there and everything like that. And you're right, the treatment that Winning Lines got, for those that don't remember, it was once a weekend, Saturday night on a CBS schedule slot that
some Saturdays, yeah,
really didn't do anything. Like, there was nothing competed against it. But this is also back at the time when people didn't really stay in on Saturday nights for everything like that. That's the time slot that they put it into. It almost was destined to die at the time slot that it was put into. What was the other show that you mentioned?
Well, they had $1 Million Password,
which again was another bad time slot, once a week. While this was in response to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which ABC was doing 5 nights a week, 3 weeks out of the year before they decided to go.
Didn't come along until 2007, 2008.
Right.
So by then, Primetime Millionaire was long gone.
Right, and now we're doing syndicated, and I guess they wanted to go ahead and get the hype off of Regis hosting another game, but it's just like you're doing it wrong at that point. CBS really, and you even mentioned a moment ago with the primetime specials for as far as CBS is concerned. CBS doesn't really do anything with that either. They give Drew one or two weekends out of the year, and I'll say 1 or 2 of the nights on a Tuesday when the reality shows aren't eating up 90% of the schedule, and it's like, why?
Yeah, it's like I said, this doesn't necessarily seem like their market in a case here. I mean, let's put it this way though. I would still give this a bit more hope. And now understand, we're also looking at this from the perspective that we're thinking that this is going to be a primetime round. This could very much as well just be a daytime revival too, if they so chose to go in that direction.
It could also even be a Saturday night special kind of thing, because I know for a fact that CBS's schedule on weekends is also kind of lacking as well. But the question is, if this is going to be a daily show, what do you possibly take off? I know for a fact they're not going to take off The Talk. That show has been renewed already. It's not like they're going to I don't remember me
hosting it.
What was that?
Also remember who's hosting it.
Yeah. I also don't see either Let's Make a Deal or The Price is Right being renewed. I'm sorry, excuse me. I don't see a Let's Make a Deal or The Price is Right being canceled. Those have already been renewed. So the only thing that you could possibly think of is possibly a soap getting canceled, but again, nothing's been
Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful are like 2 of the last ones left, and they're still
going.
They're still a major driving force for a network in the first place. So yeah, it seems like primetime is the only option for them, right. And it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what what it is that they choose to do with it. I will say this: I probably give more of a vote of confidence to CBS doing it than I would to NBC, because we know from their Deal or No Deal history, how NBC and Fox is guilty of this too, how they just have such a rampant penchant for you got to tell them in the commercial break, you got to tease them as to what's going to happen next.
That's
And
Endemol's
you're basically
fault.
giving away the whole ending.
That's Endemol's fault. They did that with Last Man Standing, Let's Make a Deal. I'm sorry, no, I keep making
Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal, and
yeah, Fox did it with Fifth Grader. They did it with they did it with Kaboom too.
Wait, what?
They did with Boom too. I'm also kind of upset that show didn't get renewed, but it's evidently a big hit internationally too. Like their format in Spain is like really kind of interesting. I'll get into that on a actual game show Talking Fun at some point, or maybe on the side video too. But it's really hard to say. And the only question that's going to come up is, is NBC going to come back and try to do something else as well? Because the only games that they possibly have is Deal or No Deal, or 21 again for the 4th time in history. But there's nothing else.
Well,
wait, I have
knowing anything, I would given how these revivals have come along, I mean, it's gonna be it's gonna be tough to say. It just seems like now all of a sudden, what's old is new again. It seems like, who knows, we probably in the next few weeks, we'll probably be ready to hear another show that's on the bandwagon and stuff like that. I mean, I know we all probably have our personal picks, say, oh, I hope this one comes next or whatever, but I'm not keeping any.
I'm not keeping I'm not going to keep my breath held, because we talked about this in the group chat earlier this afternoon. All of these game shows aren't really quizzers. Like, Name That Tune isn't really a quizzer.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and we know that the networks aren't buying quizzers whatsoever. And
look at the
network syndication or whatever. They want games.
Like, look at the most recent set of games that was even test piloted. So you start off with Fox's Eyewitness from Julie Steinlin. That's not even a question and answer game. That's more like, we'll play you 2 viral clips and you watch these and you answer the questions about it. You have Shazam, where we'll play a couple seconds of a track, pretty much like Name That Tune does, and we'll tell us what the track is.
Oh, Brianna brings up a good point. You that's right. We forgot. We forgot. NBC does do a show. What do they do?
They did The Wall, and
we forgot about The Wall.
Yeah, we forgot about The Wall. Right. It was in the back of my head too.
For the commercial, they ruin the next part of the episode.
Well, no, that's what we were talking about.
And if someone hits the ball, they show you if
they tease just before it's gonna drop where it feels like it's gonna drop. Yeah. It's both crazy.
I'm seriously.
Exactly.
Yep. Every single, it's always NBC too. It's always NBC.
Well, Fox does it too, like I said.
Fox does it too as well, but it's always been NBC.
Yeah.
They also did it during 21's original run with Maury Povich.
21, Minute to Win It. Minute to Win It did it.
Yes, Minute to Win It was especially known for that.
Yeah. They were Deal or No Deal, Minute to Win It started it, and just certain shows just had a tendency to just carry the trends on.
Yeah, that was all Endemol's fault. Like, when it comes down to The Wall, so when it comes down to Wall, the difference between, say, The Wall and the Last Man Standing and Minute to Win It and Deal or No Deal is you're stuck with these 2 contestants on a wall. You're going to see their full game play out. So no matter what, it's either going to be, oh, I'm going to get you with it's going to be like, haha, got you. This is actually how much money we won, or it's going to be something exciting like that. As opposed to, let's say, Deal or No Deal, the moment you see a new contestant on that screen, you know something is not going to go right. That contestant that's on the stage right there is going to walk away, or something worse is going to happen, and oh well, he just became $1 million winner. It's all over the place,
or somewhere in between, right? Exactly. Well, we hope that these new revivals, between Joker and potentially if Sweeper or Name That Tune come back, we hope that they don't suffer that same kind of fate. We hope that to see these be very good, revivals. We hope everybody watches them so that they stick around for a while, and that in the final production, the game is just left to be the game. So, So support them all in any way, shape, or form you can, so we can keep these classics around again in their newfound forms and flavors, wherever they should be, and and as and that's gonna do it for us here with the lightning round in general. Keep us around and passed around. Subscribe to us on yeah she drew our logo too. Subscribe to us here on YouTube if you liked this video. Click share and subscribe. Don't shake it so much. All right, get us on Facebook at facebook.com/lostsilver, or some exclusive news and content on Twitter at Game Show Megamix. And don't forget, those of you in the New York area, don't forget, you're going to get to see us at Anime NYC the weekends of November 18th and 19th. So be sure to catch our Game Show Mega Mixes on those 2 nights as well. And tune in for Convention Attention this Friday night at 8 p.m. when we talk about the worlds of professional wrestling. So we have a lot of fun and frivolity happening soon.
We're watching wrestling right now.
Yes, I know. So on behalf,
watching SmackDown.
Yeah. So on behalf of Paul Williams,
the Japanese guy's coming out.
Yes, Shinsuke Nakamura is coming up. Right. So on behalf of Paul Williams and my daughter Brianna, my name's Brian Sapinski. We're all from Lost Silver Productions, and you have just survived the lightning round. We will see you soon.
Bye-bye.